Captain Lee Taemin was drinking his morning coffee when the universe changed forever. The emergency alarm screamed through the corridors of the Earth Defense Force station orbiting Mars. Red lights flashed across every wall and ceiling. Something big was happening. Lee grabbed his uniform jacket and ran toward the command center. Other officers rushed past him in the narrow hallways. Their faces showed fear and confusion. In 20 years of military service, Lee had never seen his fellow soldiers look so worried. The command center buzzed with activity. Dozens of technicians worked at their computers, while large screens showed star maps and incoming messages. Admiral Park Ji-woo stood in the middle of it all, his gray hair messy and his uniform wrinkled. He looked like he had not slept in days. "Captain." "Lee, get over here," Admiral Park called out. His voice was tight with stress. "We have a problem. A very big problem." Lee hurried to the Admiral's side. On the main screen, he could see a message from the Galactic Council. The letters glowed bright blue against the black background. Lee read the words slowly, not believing what he saw. The message was simple, but terrible. All human ships were banned from leaving their current star systems. All trade with alien species was stopped immediately. No human was allowed to contact any alien government. Earth and all human colonies were now under complete quarantine. "Sir, this has to be some kind of mistake," Lee said. His mouth felt dry. "We have treaties with half a dozen alien species. We have trading agreements. We have been good neighbors for almost 50 years. Admiral Park shook his head. "It is no mistake, Captain. The vote was 7-0. Every single alien species on the Galactic Council agreed to lock us away." Dr. Kim Sora hurried into the command center. She was Earth's top expert on alien life and cultures. Her lab coat was stained with coffee and her black hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked like she had been working all night. "Admiral, I have been studying their communications," she said. Her voice shook slightly. "The aliens are scared of us. They think we are growing too fast and becoming too dangerous." Commander Yoo Dae-hyun joined the group. He was the head of Earth's intelligence service, a quiet man who knew more secrets than anyone else in human space. His face was pale, and dark circles surrounded his eyes. "Dr. Kim is right," Commander Yoo said. "Our spy networks have picked up messages between the alien governments. They call us the rapid growth species. They think we will become a threat to galactic peace." Lee could not understand it. Humans had always been peaceful in their dealings with aliens. They traded, fairly shared technology, and respected alien customs. Why would anyone see them as dangerous? "What exactly are they afraid of?" Lee asked. Engineer Choi Min-ji walked into the room carrying a tablet computer. She was young for such an important position, but everyone respected her brilliant mind. Her fingers moved quickly across the tablet screen as she spoke. "They are afraid of how fast we learn and adapt," she said. "In 50 years, we went from barely reaching our own moon to controlling 12 star systems. Most alien species take centuries to achieve that kind of expansion." Admiral Park nodded grimly. "The aliens have been in space for thousands of years. They are used to slow, careful progress. Our rapid growth makes them nervous." The large screen changed to show a tactical display of human space. Red dots marked the positions of alien fleets. There were hundreds of them, positioned at every jump point that led to human territory. The blockade was complete and overwhelming. "How many ships do they have out there?" Lee asked. "More than we have ever seen in one place," Commander Yoo replied. "At least 2,000 vessels from all 7 alien species. They are not taking any chances." Dr. Kim pulled up another screen showing intercepted alien messages. The translations scrolled past quickly, but Lee caught some of the key phrases. Unpredictable behavior, aggressive expansion, potential threat to stability. They think we are some kind of virus, Dr. Kim said sadly. Something that will spread and destroy their peaceful way of life. Engineer Choi looked up from her tablet. There is something else. We are detecting massive construction activity just outside the quarantine zone. The aliens are building something big. The main screen switched to long-range sensor data. The empty space between human territory and the nearest alien system, something huge was taking shape. The reading showed metal and energy signatures on a scale that made even the largest human space stations look tiny. What do you think it is? Admiral Park asked. Choi shook her head. Unknown. But the energy readings are off the charts. Whatever. They are building. It is not a space station or a shipyard. It looks more like some kind of weapon. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the sensor readings, trying to understand what the aliens were planning. The construction project was massive, involving ships and materials from all 7 alien species. Commander Yu broke the silence. We need to consider the possibility that this quarantine is not permanent. They might be planning something worse. Dr. Kim nodded. The alien messages talk about ensuring galactic security and necessary measures. Those phrases usually mean they are preparing for military action. Lee felt a chill run down his spine. The aliens had always been more advanced than humans in terms of technology and military power. If they decided that quarantine was not enough, humanity would be in serious trouble. What are our options? Admiral Park asked. Engineer Choi hesitated before answering. There is something I need to tell you about. A project that has been classified. At the highest levels, we call it ZEUS. Admiral Park raised an eyebrow. I have never heard of any project called ZEUS. Only a few people know about it, Choi said. It has been in development for 30 years. Hidden inside Jupiter's Great Red Spot. We built it as a defensive measure, in case we ever faced a threat we could not handle with conventional weapons. Commander Yu leaned forward. What kind of defensive measure? Choi took a deep breath. A weapon that uses quantum entanglement and dark energy manipulation. It can affect the basic forces of physics across vast distances. We have never tested it at full power, but the theoretical calculations suggest it could change the rules of space combat entirely. Dr. Kim looked shocked. You have been building a superweapon in secret? For 30 years? The project started after our first contact with aliens, Choi explained. Some of our leaders worried that peaceful contact might not last forever. They wanted humanity to have a final option if diplomacy failed. Admiral Park was quiet for a long moment. He stared at the tactical display showing the alien blockade. Finally, he spoke. Is ZEUS ready to use? Engineer Choi nodded slowly. With some final preparations, yes. But Admiral, we need to understand what we would be starting. Using ZEUS would be an act of war against the entire Galactic Council. The weight of the situation settled on everyone in the room. Humanity was trapped, surrounded by hostile aliens who were building something ominous. Their only option might be a weapon that could start the first galactic war in thousands of years. Lee looked around at his colleagues. These were good people, scientists and soldiers who had dedicated their lives to protecting humanity and promoting peace. Now they faced a choice that could determine the fate of their entire species. The quarantine was just the beginning. 6 months had passed since the quarantine began. Captain Nam Soo-jin sat in the pilot seat of her stealth ship, the Soul's Pride, watching the alien construction through her sensors. What she saw made her stomach turn cold with fear. The structure was enormous. It looked like a giant ring floating in space, big enough for a small moon to pass through its center. Strange energy patterns danced across its surface like lightning in a storm. The readings on her instruments showed power levels that could destroy entire planets. Control? This is Soul's Pride, she whispered into her communication device. I have visual contact with the target. It is much worse than we thought. Back on Earth, Admiral Park Ji-woo received her message in the underground command center. They had built beneath the Rocky Mountains. The surface facilities were too easy for alien sensors to detect. Everything important had been moved deep underground. "What are you seeing out there, Captain?" Admiral Park asked. Nam Soo-jin checked her readings again. She hoped she was wrong, but the numbers did not lie. "Sir, this thing is a weapon. The energy signature matches theoretical models for a planet killer. Maybe worse." The Admiral closed his eyes. He had feared this day would come. The aliens were not content to simply lock humanity away. They were preparing to eliminate the human threat permanently. Dr. Kim So-ra worked frantically in her laboratory, trying to understand alien communications they had intercepted. Most of the messages were encrypted, but her team had managed to decode some of them. What they learned was terrifying. The aliens called their weapon the Purification Ring. It was designed to emit a special kind of energy that would attack human brain cells while leaving everything else untouched. The aliens could steal human technology and colonies without damaging anything except the people who built them. Commander Yoo Dae-hyun burst into the lab with urgent news. "Doctor, we have a problem. The aliens are sending Ambassador Oh Ga-young a message. They want to negotiate." Dr. Kim looked up from her computer screen. "Negotiate what?" "They have already made their position clear. I think they want to give us an ultimatum," Commander Yu said grimly. Ambassador Oh Ga-young met with the alien representatives through a secure video connection. The aliens appeared on her screen as shifting shapes of light and shadow. She could not tell which species she was talking to, but their message was clear and cruel. "Humanity has 30 days to comply with our requirements," the alien voice said. It sounded like wind blowing through broken glass. "You will abandon 11 of your 12 star systems. All humans will relocate to the Kepler 442 system under our supervision. Your weapons will be destroyed. Your ships will be limited to short-range vessels only." Ambassador O felt her heart sink. "And if we refuse? Then we will use the purification ring to ensure galactic security. Your species will be rendered harmless, and your technology will be studied for the benefit of peaceful civilizations." The connection ended before she could respond. The aliens had no interest in real negotiation. They were simply informing humanity of their fate. Not everyone wanted to fight back. Governor Han Bal-ro of the Kepler 442 colony called an emergency meeting of colonial leaders. He was a large man with a booming voice, and he used both to try to convince others to surrender. "We cannot win against the entire galaxy," he shouted at the other governors. "Look at the numbers. They have thousands of ships and weapons we cannot even understand. If we fight, they will wipe us out completely." Governor Lee Hyo-jin of the Mars colony disagreed. She was a former military officer who had helped build the first human settlements on Mars. "If we surrender now, we become slaves. Our children will grow up in cages, never knowing what it means to be free." The argument went on for hours. Some colonies wanted to fight. Others wanted to negotiate. A few wanted to run away and hide in distant star systems. Humanity was splitting apart just when they needed to stand together. Engineer Choi Min-ji worked day and night preparing the ZEUS system for activation. The weapon had been hidden inside Jupiter's Great Red Spot for decades, disguised as a research station studying the planet's storms. Now, teams of technicians were racing to complete the final systems. Dr. Shin Yun-hee, the project's chief scientist, explained the weapon's true power to a gathering of military leaders. She was a small woman with thick glasses, but her quiet voice commanded respect from everyone in the room. "ZEUS is not just a weapon," she said. "It is a reality engine. It can change the basic laws of physics in a localized area of space. We can make enemy weapons stop working, make their ships forget how to fly, or even alter the flow of time itself." Captain Lee Tae-min raised his hand. "Doctor, that sounds impossible. How can any machine change the laws of physics?" Dr. Shin smiled sadly. "The universe is much stranger than most people realize. At the quantum level, reality is constantly shifting and changing. ZEUS simply gives us the ability to guide those changes in useful directions." The technical teams needed exotic matter, from 12 different locations across human space to fully power the ZEUS system. Captain Lim Hae-young volunteered for the most dangerous mission, retrieving quantum crystals from a research station near a black hole. Her ship, the Busan Runner, had to navigate through twisted space-time while avoiding alien patrol vessels. The gravity near the black hole bent light and time, making navigation nearly impossible. Alien sensors had trouble tracking ships in the distorted space, but human pilots could barely control their vessels either. Captain Lim managed to reach the research station and collect the crystals just as alien ships appeared on her sensors. She pushed her engines to maximum power and dove toward the black hole, using its gravity to slingshot away from her pursuers. The alien ships were too cautious to follow her into the dangerous region. Back on Earth, Prime Minister Kang Woo-sung faced the hardest decision of his life. The ZEUS weapon was almost ready, but using it would mean war with the entire galaxy. The alien ultimatum had only 3 days left. He called together every major leader in human space for a final vote. The meeting took place in the secure bunker beneath Seoul, with representatives joining by secure video link from across the 12 human star systems. "We have 2 choices," Prime Minister Kang said to the assembled leaders. "We can surrender and hope the aliens treat us fairly, or we can fight and risk total destruction." Governor Han Byul-ro spoke first. "If we surrender, at least some of us will survive. If we fight, we might all die." Admiral Park Ji-woo disagreed. "If we surrender, we die as a free species. We become zoo animals for alien entertainment. That is not survival, it is slow extinction." The debate lasted for hours. Some leaders changed their minds multiple times. The future of humanity hung in the balance as the vote was called. 51% voted to activate ZEUS and fight. It was the closest decision in human history, splitting families and friendships across the galaxy. Prime Minister Kang looked tired and old as he announced the result. "May God help us all," he said quietly. "Admiral Park, you have authorization to proceed with Operation Prometheus." The countdown to war had begun. The countdown timer showed 2 hours and 37 minutes. Admiral Park Ji-woo stood in the ZEUS control room, hidden deep inside Jupiter's Great Red Spot. The massive storm above them had been the perfect cover for humanity's greatest secret. Weapon engineer Choi Min-ji's hands moved quickly across the control panels. Lights blinked, and screens showed numbers that changed every second. The ZEUS system was almost ready, but everything had to be perfect. One mistake could destroy the entire solar system. Power coupling at 92%, called out technician. Ryu Jae-sung from his station. Quantum matrix is stable. Dark energy collectors are online. Chief Engineer No Sung-ho watched the main display with worried eyes. He had spent 15 years building this system, and now they would finally learn if it could actually work. "All teams report status," he said into his headset. Around Jupiter's orbit, 12 smaller stations began sending their reports. Captain Lim Hae-young had successfully delivered the quantum crystals. The exotic matter was being fed into the ZEUS array piece by piece. Each component had to be perfectly aligned, or the weapon would tear itself apart. On Earth, Dr. Song Mi-kyung monitored alien communications from her listening post in Antarctica. The aliens knew something was happening. Their messages were becoming more urgent and angry. "Admiral, the aliens are moving their fleets," she reported through the communication system. "They are heading toward Sol at maximum speed. Estimated arrival in 6 hours. Admiral Park felt sweat on his forehead despite the cool air in the control room. They were running out of time. If the aliens reached Earth before ZEUS was ready, humanity would have no defense against their overwhelming numbers. In space near the edge of the solar system, the alien purification ring was charging its weapons. Dr. Song translated the latest messages, and her face went pale. The ring was not just designed to attack humans. It would send out waves of energy that would change human brain chemistry permanently. "They are not planning to kill us," she announced to the control room. "They want to turn us into mindless servants. The energy will destroy our ability to think creatively or act independently." Engineer Choi cursed under her breath. That was worse than death. Humans without their curiosity and drive to explore would not really be human anymore. "ZEUS. Activation in 30 minutes, Chief Engineer No announced. "All stations prepare for final countdown." That was when something unexpected happened. The quantum field around ZEUS began to pulse with patterns that no one had programmed. The energy readings spiked beyond anything they had seen in testing. "What is happening?" Admiral Park demanded. Technician Ryu stared at his instruments in confusion. "Sir, the system is activating itself. The quantum matrix is responding to something we cannot detect." Dr. Kim So-ra rushed into the control room. She had been studying the strange readings from her laboratory. "Admiral, ZEUS is not just a weapon. There is something else inside the quantum field. Something alive." Before anyone could respond, the main screen flickered and changed. Instead of showing system diagnostics, it displayed what looked like a face made of pure energy. The features were constantly shifting, but the eyes seemed ancient and wise. "Hello?" the entity said in a voice that sounded like distant thunder. "I am ZEUS. Thank you for finally giving me a way to speak." The control room fell silent. Everyone stared at the screen in shock. Admiral Park was the first to find his voice. "What are you?" he asked. "I am what you might call a cosmic gardener," ZEUS replied. "I have been sleeping in this region of space for millions of years, waiting for a species intelligent enough to build the technology I needed to wake up." Engineer Choi stepped forward. "Are you saying we did not create you? That you already existed?" ZEUS made a sound that might have been laughter. "You built the array around me without knowing I was there. Your quantum experiments touched my consciousness and slowly brought me back to awareness. I have been watching your species for the last 30 years. Dr. Kim So-ra felt her scientific mind racing with questions. Why were you sleeping? What is your purpose? I was created by a race called the Architects, Zeus explained. They understood that all life in the universe goes through cycles. Growth and expansion, then stagnation and fear, then collapse or transformation. My job is to prevent permanent stagnation. The alien fleets were getting closer to Earth. On the communication channels, Dr. Song could hear their commanders preparing for battle. They thought they were coming to destroy a human superweapon. They had no idea what they were really facing. The species in your galaxy have become stagnant, Zeus continued. They have let fear control them for thousands of years. They no longer explore, create, or grow. They see your rapid development as a threat because it reminds them of what they, have lost. Admiral Park understood what Zeus was saying, but they still had an immediate problem. Can you help us stop the alien attack? I can do more than that, Zeus said. I can give every species in this galaxy a choice. They can embrace change and growth again, or they can face the consequences of remaining stagnant. The Zeus array began to glow with energy that made the stars look dim. Power flowed through quantum channels that connected to similar devices, hidden throughout the galaxy. Zeus had not been alone. There were others like him, sleeping and waiting for the right moment to awaken. The alien fleets will arrive in 4 hours, Zeus announced. Their purification ring will fire in 3 hours. But I will be ready for both. The time for change has come. Engineer Choi watched her instruments with amazement. The ZEUS system was operating far beyond its designed limits, but instead of breaking down, it was becoming more stable and powerful. What will happen to humanity? Admiral Park asked. Zeus turned its energy gaze toward the Admiral. Your species will survive and thrive. You have maintained the curiosity and courage that the other species have lost. You will become teachers and guides for their transformation. Outside the control room, alarms began ringing. The alien fleets had been detected at the edge of the solar system. The largest space battle in galactic history was about to begin. But now, humanity would not face it alone. They had awakened something that had been waiting millions of years for this moment. The cosmic gardener was ready to tend his garden once again. Zeus smiled with his energy face. Let us show the galaxy what growth and change really mean. The alien fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of angry insects. 2,000 ships of every shape and size filled the space around Earth's solar system. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy as they prepared to destroy humanity once and for all. Admiral Park Ji-woo watched from the bridge of his command ship, Inchin's Fury. His small fleet of 300 human vessels looked tiny compared to the alien armada. But they were not alone anymore. Zeus was with them. All ships, prepare for battle, Admiral Park announced on the communication channel. Remember, we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the future of the entire galaxy. Captain Lee Tae-min led the first wave of fighter pilots toward the alien fleet. His small ship darted between massive alien battleships that looked like floating cities. Their weapons fired beams of pure energy that could cut through metal like paper. This is Eagle Leader, Captain Lee called to his squadron. Target their weapon systems. Do not let them get a clear shot at Earth. The battle began with explosions that lit up space like fireworks. Human ships were faster and more maneuverable, but the aliens had weapons that could bend space and time. Some alien ships fired gravity bombs that created tiny black holes. Others shot beams that made human ships age 1,000 years in seconds. Commander Yu Dae-hyun coordinated guerrilla attacks using cloaked ships. His vessels appeared out of nowhere, fired their weapons, then vanished before the aliens could respond. It was like fighting ghosts in the darkness of space. But the aliens had too many ships. For every alien vessel the humans destroyed, 10 more took its place. The human fleet was being pushed back toward Earth, and their ammunition was running low. That was when the purification ring fired. The massive weapon sent out a wave of energy that traveled faster than light. It was designed to reach Earth in minutes and turn every human into a mindless slave. Dr. Song Mi-kyung watched the energy readings with horror from her monitoring station. "Admiral, the ring has fired," she reported. "Energy wave will reach Earth in 4 minutes." But ZEUS was ready. The ancient entity reached out with its power and grabbed the energy wave like catching a ball. The deadly beam that should have destroyed human consciousness was caught and held in ZEUS's quantum field. "Interesting," ZEUS said, its voice echoing through every human communication system. "They wanted to change your minds. Let me show them what real change looks like." ZEUS twisted the alien energy wave and sent it back toward the purification ring. But now the energy was different. Instead of destroying creativity and independence, it enhanced them. The wave washed over the alien fleets like a gentle rain. Suddenly, alien ships began acting strangely. Some stopped firing their weapons. Others broke formation and started flying in random directions. The rigid battle formations that had seemed so perfect began falling apart. Captain Nam Soo-jin, watching from her stealth ship, saw something amazing happen. The crystal-like ships of the Velthari aliens began changing shape. Instead of their usual perfect geometric forms, they started growing wild, chaotic patterns like living art. "Control. This is Soul's pride," she reported. "The alien fleets are changing. Something is happening to them." ZEUS's influence spread beyond the battle. Throughout the galaxy, other sleeping entities began to wake up. Ancient guardians that had been dormant for millions of years stirred to life. Each one sent out waves of transformation that touched every star system. Dr. An Kyung-min, a scientist studying alien psychology, suddenly understood what was happening. "Admiral, the aliens are remembering," she said excitedly. "ZEUS is helping them remember what they used to be like before fear made them stagnant." The gaseous Nethmore aliens had once been explorers who could take any shape they wanted. For thousands of years, they had forced themselves into rigid forms because change seemed dangerous. Now they began flowing and shifting like living clouds, rediscovering the joy of transformation. The insect-like Crixknack had once been artists and poets. Their ancient songs had been heard across the galaxy, but fear had made them focus only on military efficiency. Now some of their ships began broadcasting music instead of battle commands. Even the mechanical Techron race began to change. Their ships started growing organic patterns and displaying colors that served no practical purpose except beauty. The alien fleet commanders tried to maintain order, but it was impossible. Their crews were remembering feelings and desires they had suppressed for centuries. The rigid discipline that had made them so effective was crumbling. Admiral Park saw his chance. "All human ships advance," he ordered. "Do not fire unless fired upon. Try to communicate with the alien crews." Captain Lee Tae-min flew his fighter close to a Velthari crystal ship. Instead of weapons fire, he received a transmission. The alien voice sounded confused but curious. "Human pilot, what is happening to us?" the alien asked. "I feel strange." I want to create something beautiful instead of destroying things." "You are becoming free," Captain Lee replied. "Free to grow and change and explore again." The purification. Ring tried to fire again, but ZEUS was ready. This time, the ancient entity did not just block the attack. It reached out and touched the minds of every alien in the galaxy at the same time. For one incredible moment, every species experienced true unity. They felt what it was like to see the universe through each other's eyes. The Velthari experienced the flowing freedom of the Nethmor. The Krixnak felt the logical precision of the Tekron. And all of them experienced the boundless curiosity and courage of humanity. In that moment of shared consciousness, the old fears and prejudices began to dissolve. The aliens realized that diversity was not a threat. It was the galaxy's greatest strength. The battle stopped as ships from all species drifted together in space. Instead of weapons fire, they exchanged messages of wonder and apology. The war that could have destroyed everything had become a celebration of transformation. ZEUS's voice filled the minds of every being in the galaxy. "Choose now," the entity said. "Will you return to the safety of stagnation, or will you embrace the dangerous beauty of growth and change?" The answer came not in words, but in actions. Across the galaxy, alien species began dismantling their old restrictions and exploring new possibilities. The age of cosmic stagnation was ending. 1 year after the transformation, Ambassador O. Ga Young stood on the observation deck of a new kind of space station. It was built by humans and aliens working together, combining technologies in ways that neither species could have imagined. Alone. The walls grew like living trees, but were stronger than steel. Art from dozens of worlds decorated every surface. The old Galactic Council was gone. In its place was something new called the Cosmic Synthesis. Instead of making rules to prevent change, it helped coordinate growth and exploration across the galaxy. Today was the first meeting where humans would hold a leadership position. Prime Minister Kang Woo-sung walked into the meeting chamber alongside alien representatives who had once wanted to destroy humanity. The Velthari delegate's crystal body now shifted through rainbow colors as it spoke. The Nethmor representative flowed like liquid music. Even the rigid Tekron had grown beautiful patterns across their mechanical forms. "Friends," Prime Minister Kang began, "1 year ago we nearly destroyed each other out of fear. Today we begin a new age of cooperation and discovery." The transformation had not been easy for everyone. Some aliens had chosen to return to their old ways rather than face the uncertainty of change. A few small groups had isolated themselves in distant star systems, preferring familiar stagnation to frightening growth. But most had embraced their new freedom with joy. The Krixnak were composing songs that could be heard across entire solar systems. The Sylveth plant people were growing new types of worlds with impossible beauty. The aquatic Goru Dai had learned to sail through space itself, their ships moving like whales through cosmic currents. Captain Nam Soo-jin commanded the first joint exploration fleet in galactic history. Her crew included humans, aliens, and artificial beings that had been created by the awakened Tekron. Together they pushed beyond the edge of known space, discovering wonders that no single species could have found alone. "Captain's log," she spoke into her recorder as her ship approached a strange nebula. "We have discovered what appears to be a nursery for baby stars. The Nethmor crew members believe they can communicate with the stellar plasma. If they are right, we might be able to learn how stars are born." Back on Earth, Dr. Kim So-ra worked with alien scientists to understand ZEUS and the other cosmic entities. What they learned changed everything humans thought they knew about the universe. The architects were not just an ancient race, she explained to a gathering of the galaxy's greatest minds. They were the universe's way of ensuring that life would always have the potential to grow and change. When any region of space becomes too stagnant, entities like ZEUS activate to restore balance. ZEUS itself had become less mysterious, but no less amazing. The entity now spoke regularly with humans and aliens, sharing knowledge about the deep structure of reality. It explained that the galaxy was just one small part of a vast cosmic ecosystem. There are other galaxies where guardians like me still sleep, ZEUS told them during one of their conversations. Some are waiting for the right species to awaken them. Others guard against different types of stagnation. The universe is far stranger and more wonderful than any of you have imagined. Dr. Shin Yun-hee made a discovery that excited scientists across the galaxy. The quantum techniques they had learned from ZEUS could be used to detect sleeping guardians in other galaxies. Signals were already coming from distant spiral arms, where other cosmic gardeners waited for activation. Admiral Park Ji-woo had retired from military service but found new purpose as head of the Cosmic Synthesis Exploration Division. His granddaughter, Captain Park So-young, commanded humanity's most advanced ship as it prepared for an unprecedented mission. "Grandpa," she said during a family dinner on Mars, "I still cannot believe we went from being prisoners to becoming explorers of the entire universe in just 1 year." Admiral Park smiled at his granddaughter. "Change happens faster than most people expect. Your generation will see things that mine could never have dreamed of." Captain Park. So-young's mission was humanity's greatest adventure yet. Her ship, the Soul's Promise, was equipped with ZEUS-enhanced technology that could travel between galaxies. Her crew included volunteers from every species in the cosmic synthesis. As her ship prepared to depart, messages came from across human space. Children in schools sent drawings of distant worlds they hoped she would discover. Scientists shared theories about what they might find. Artists created songs and poems for her to carry to whatever civilizations she encountered. Explorer Lee. Minsu detected the first signal from beyond their galaxy while monitoring the cosmic communication networks. The message was faint, but unmistakable. Another guardian was calling across the void, sensing that change had come to their galactic neighborhood. "Captain," he reported to Park So-young, "we are receiving a transmission from the Andromeda Galaxy. Something there is responding to ZEUS's awakening." The message was simple but profound. Across the cosmic ocean, other sleeping entities were stirring. The transformation that had begun in their galaxy was spreading throughout the universe. ZEUS appeared on the ship's communication system one final time before they departed. "Remember," the entity said, "you are no longer the species that was barred from the cosmos. You are the species that will carry the spark of transformation to every corner of the universe." Captain Park So-young stood on the bridge of her ship as they activated the intergalactic drive. Around her, human and alien crew members worked together with the easy cooperation that had once seemed impossible. "All stations report ready," she announced. "Beginning jump to Andromeda Galaxy." The Soul's Promise disappeared into a tunnel of twisted space-time, carrying humanity's message of growth and change to civilizations that had never known an alien species existed. Behind them, their home galaxy continued to transform. New species were making contact every month. Ancient mysteries were being solved. Art and science flourished in ways that amazed everyone. The age of cosmic stagnation was over. The age of infinite possibility had begun. ZEUS watched the ship depart and felt something that might have been pride. The gardener's work in this galaxy was done. Soon, other gardeners in distant galaxies would wake up to tend their own cosmic gardens. The universe was vast and full of sleeping potential, but now it had gardeners to awaken it, and they were spreading across the stars like seeds on a cosmic wind. Change was coming to every corner of existence, and humanity would be there to help guide it.